Hi Pisces, this is Lee at Fresh Astrology. We're looking at August 2018, and I'm really doing this on the fly. It's been very difficult to get this done. So if you want, you can also go look at my Facebook Lives. Those are forecasts for August as well. But I'm going to get through as much of this as I can, and then I'm going to have to stop. And I didn't have any time to prepare this, so we're just on the fly here. But after doing all of these, the Facebook Lives and all the other signs, I see the pattern for the month. We have lots of retrograde planets, two steady forward-paced planets, Venus and Jupiter. We have an eclipse in Leo, and then we have Mars backing into Capricorn. So thereby emphasizing Capricorn and bringing that energy in more strongly. And we have the reversal of Mercury working with the eclipse, very much so. So let's start with the eclipse. The eclipse happens in Leo. This is your 6th house that governs your daily schedule and your health, your sense of well-being, and often because it's daily schedule, it governs work, but all your duties and tasks throughout the day. And with an eclipse here, there needs to be some kind of change with how you spend your time. And it's multi-layered, it's not just one thing. But there could be a big aha moment, there could be a change in your job situation, mid-month-ish. So I'd say middle of August onward, there's some kind of change in your daily schedule and what you might do with it. So it does kind of lean toward possible job shift or change. It could be a promotion at the same company, but it's some kind of change. And it's also your sense of well-being and your happiness levels and how good you feel physically. So because of Mars, I think you've struggled emotionally for a while, for a few months, maybe more than people know. And you may have been hard on yourself or even kind of numb in some kind of way. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but I can kind of get a feel for it. It's hard to find words. But I think there's some kind of lift and a motivation and an energy that comes from events in August that are actually good and helpful to you. I'm hoping that's the case for all of you guys, but I think there's some kind of turnaround that's positive, and I think it has to do with money and general life direction. And so for some of you, it's getting like a degree or going off to school to learn something. It may be law related, communication, publishing related, marketing related, but there's some kind of turnaround that really benefits you, possibly in your career, but your overall sense of well-being, I think, is greatly improved. And if that's not the case, it may be something with some other sign, or it could be that you're fighting against the tide. Sometimes we do, the universe and life is trying to bring lots of good things, and we resist it. We won't let it in. We won't agree to take the job. We won't agree to move. We won't agree to do the change we need to do. And so if good things aren't happening through the month, especially toward the end, if you don't see that happening for you, then there may be some internal resistance that's getting in your way, and that's something to be worked with. So the big task for you is what's happening in the 11th house. It's really changing the way you look at your future, being willing to alter the vision you had for what your future holds, and being willing to kind of trust life to take you in new directions, even if you can't see where it's going to go and you can't know how it will end up. You can't know the result. You can't determine if the outcome will be good necessarily, but there's a need, and as a Pisces, you're equipped to do it. And I think that's why you've got the specific challenge. Pisces, is the two fish. So they have support, community, that kind of spiritual support, that underpinning of intuition and connection to spirit that gives the Pisces a particular type of strength. And you're meant to go with the flow in the current. But it is scary. It is the unknown. And for some reason, even though Pisces is so intuitive and so kind of dreamy, they still struggle. Because what's interesting here is I'm learning something about astrology as I look at the story of what's unfolding right now. I wouldn't have necessarily suspected it in the past, but I've seen that the thing that each sign's being asked to do is one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing for that sign to do. And I think one of the hardest things for you to do is to create a plan for your future and then trust that it will be okay. You would think that a Pisces with all its dreaminess and, oh, that would be wonderful, would not have this issue, but I think the issue is in choosing a path decisively. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to trust that it will work. I think that is a very hard set of statements and declarative actions for a Pisces. I think Pisces must struggle with that enormously. So you've been tasked, all of you together and individually too, have been tasked with choosing a strong plan for yourself that takes you far into the future, not just a plan for tomorrow, but one that goes 20 years, making hard, clear decisions and sticking with it over time, trusting that it will work and not going off into dreamland all the time and never quite committing or shifting midstream. I think what's hard for you is to pick a path and stay on it. There's a lot of fear, and maybe I should just zip off this way. It's like the fish that darts in and out. I think it must be hard for you to just pick something strong, a strong path for you. It's scary just to step onto that path and stay on it. It feels like a very vulnerable position for you. I think it's scary for a fish to do that because it's not natural for a fish. Fish need to if they're not at the top of the food chain, they need to dart in and out of the kelp. They need to dart here and there, and that creates this nervousness around staying on a path. It doesn't feel safe, and your mission is to heal yourself in this way, to pick a path and stay on it and trust, and find your strength through that. That's how you find your strength. And it's your job to save the planet by showing us how to do this, because we all have a little Pisces in us. You're showing us how to do this, how to stay the course. Trust that when you make a decision, it will work, and not freak out and make all kinds of different decisions and changes so that you never give anything a true chance. And maybe as a group of humans globally, we never give anything a true chance. We never see it through. We're always changing and destroying what we've created. So there's something here that we all need to see you doing, and you're going to lead the way, even if it's just a smidge ahead of us or even alongside us. But we're going to be learning through you how to do this. So go to it, and I'll see you later.